Alright, afternoon, evening. Right, so I feel completely knackered. I've just woken up actually. And the afternoon nap. Backside is killing me. Got a headache. And I don't think I'll be doing any gaming today. Too much of a headache. But I did want to do a video regarding people thinking that they're making a profit or getting free games at C.E.X. Well, this video is going to be kind of talking about that. So, do you think that you're getting free games on C.E.X. when you take in stuff from your car boot fair sales? Well, to be honest with you, no, you're not. And this is how I see it. You go to a car boot sale and you take about 40, 50, 60 pounds or whatever you want to do it, yeah? And this is even going with eBay or whatnot or Facebook Marketplace. You might be making a profit and getting a little bit of extra money, but you're not making a lot of profit. Now, when you buy stuff at the car boot fair and you think, oh, like, you know, that game is worth like £4 trading and you're only paying like £1 for it, yeah, then you got to make or buy enough items from a car boot fair and turn over enough profit with C.E.X. to get anything back. Iron. Now, I've been going car boot fairs for the last 3 months or whatever, yeah, thinking, hey, yeah, you know, if I'm going to get some games, then, yeah, like, you know, I'll go and get some games and I'll come home and calculate them, see if there's any profit on them. And if there is any profit on them by trading them in, then, yeah, like, you know, I've got credit. But that's what you're getting, credit. You're not getting cash back that you've been spending out. Now, okay, you might get like a £2 credit back on a return of a game, yeah? So if I buy a game for £1 at a car boot fair and then like come home, check on it and find out it's worth £3 in C.E.X., you've made a £2 credit. You're not getting the £2 cash back because the cash back is worth half what the credit is. So you know, unless you're okay with an extra £1 and you want the money, you're only making £1. You're getting more on the credit, yeah, but you got to make enough credit to even, in one way, think it's worth continue doing what you're doing, going to car boot fairs or flea markets or garage sales or whatever, you know, because like we're not the only ones who do this in the UK. There's other places in like America and like, you know, any country, you know, you might have a flea market where you go and buy something and you might be able to cash it in for a small profit or, you know, a little bit of credit or whatever, you know, kind of thing. But the downside is that, you know, you might get some games or some consoles or something like that and thinking like, okay, you know, I buy it and hoping it's going to work, and then you bring it home and you plug it in and it don't work, or the game don't work, or the handheld consoles don't work. So, and most of the time you can't take it back because the seller either isn't there the following week or won't give you money back. So you've lost really, haven't you? You've made a negative there. You ain't made no money. So you've got to try to recoup that money by going back and buying more stuff and thinking, well, like, you know, 20 games there, you know, cash in price, you know, for a voucher, probably about 40 quid or something, double money back. But it's not double your money back because you'd only probably get like half of what you actually paid out of. So, like, you might pay £20 out and you might get £30 back. But then you've got to remember you're trying to recoup the money you've lost from the previous car boot fair because the things don't bloody well work. So my camera's flashing, I don't know what's going on there. So, like, I bought yesterday at the car boot fair 3 Guitar Hero guitars, only £10. One of them I damaged trying to take off the front cover of a Wii guitar. So that's actually like, it can still be used, but the front cover is broken there because it's a bugger to get off. And like the only thing that was in there was a Wii controller, but the Wii controller didn't have the backing on it. So I wouldn't have got my money back on those guitars anyway. I took 2 of them up thinking, £8 each, possibly. But when I bought them out, the guy said £2 each. I thought, what a fucking rip-off, £2 each. Now, I'm not even making my money back. I took some games up there as well, thinking I'm going to make money. But I didn't make nothing. I kind of like broke even. And that's on credit. Because I spent out over £40 yesterday. And the time I took stuff up and done some research on C.E.X, seeing what I can get back on them, I broke even. I didn't make no money because some of the games I knew weren't going to be worth nothing. I bought about 30 games and I was hoping at least 140, at least that'd be 40p profit, but that ain't even profit because there's people that they don't realise there's extra costs that they've had to pay out to go to the car boot fair, to buy stuff, to bring home and try to flip with C.E.X or some other place to make that profit. You're not making profit because you're paying out for travel costs. You're paying out for, your car, your fuel, your tax, your MOT, That's all got to come into the calculation as well. People don't think about that, It's probably costing you like a £5 of fuel. Are you actually deducting the £5 of fuel when you come home and calculating stuff? Thinking, I bought £5 worth of games, I'm going to get £20 back. But then, you have deducted the fuel costs. So you're not going to get £20, you're going to get £15, if that. Because I took up about a dozen games today, yeah? And 2 of them, they wouldn't take. Why, I don't know. I think one of them, which was Star Wars, The Return of the Force, or whatever it was. I could have got £2. I think it was like £2 credit on it. But I stopped doing them. They won't take that game in anymore. So that's like the cost of the game, which was probably £1, deducted from what I thought I was going to get. So that's loss, really, isn't it? It's loss. And then, you're thinking, right, well, it's only £1, but £1 is £1, especially with people who can't afford to lose money. Now, I try to, buy things which like anyone, you think that you're going to go to a car boot fair or flea market or somewhere, or, get a good deal off Facebook Marketplace or eBay, thinking that you're going to make money, easy enough to flip it. Sometimes you do, but not all the time. Because I've seen many people who goes to car boot fairs, buys consoles thinking they're going to work, get home, and sadly say they don't work. I bought a PlayStation 3 backward compatible 2 weeks ago. Guy promised me it worked. He goes, it definitely works, coming out for house clearance. It works. Got it home. Red light of death. I couldn't even plug it in for the HDMI port. Wouldn't accept it. But it did have the port where you can actually plug in the old PlayStation 2. So I connected the cable from the PlayStation 2 into the back of the PlayStation 3. And I've got his HDMI box where I can convert the RCA into HDMI and then plug it into the TV. It did actually come up. It done so many updates and whatnot, but after a few minutes, it kept shutting down and giving me red light of death. Now, apparently, that's an overheating issue on the main motherboard. I have seen some videos where it says completely take the motherboard out, clean off the old heatsink kind of shit, and then re-heat sink it, and that should hopefully cure the issue. It's meant to be a 75% chance it's going to work at 50%, because the 50% could be something else. Could be a processor, it could be a resistor, it could be a diode or something that's causing an issue. So I couldn't take it back yesterday because I knew the guy wasn't going to be there because of the weather, which was going to have really bad weather. I walked around hoping that he was there. I'm going to say, hey, you can get sweat and bring you back because it doesn't work. But, sometimes you might be able to get a little bit more extra money on a broken console, because it is backward compatible and people might buy them just try to repair them. Now, I did email a guy, the coder, who I usually watch repairing stuff, over a week ago. No reply from him whatsoever. No reply. So don't even bother emailing him, because I've asked him, is it possible for it to be fixed and how much it'd be to fix it. No reply email whatsoever. So I've got a £30 console, which I was hoping was going to work, sitting there doing nothing. It's like a doorstep at the moment. So, unless I put myself out and put it on eBay and try to sell it, it might go as spares and repairs. But there's no guarantee that someone will buy it as spares and repairs, because there is a lot of PlayStation 3s backward compatible on eBay at this present moment. Unless there's only a couple, then yeah, you might get your money back. But then even when you put something on eBay, you've got to pay your eBay fees. You've got to pay your eBay listing, your selling fees, your postal fees. Now, with eBay, it doesn't matter if you're using their service or not. You stick postal cost on, PlayStation 3 is a heavy machine. So if you put £10 postal on, and you're not using the eBay facilities for posting, they charge you. They charge you for listing a postal fee on there. Then you got to pay the cost of getting box and wrapping material, unless you've already got it. So really, you're going to be spending that probably about 20 quid in fees, postage, boxing up, and then if you sold your console for 40 quid, you've not even made 40 quid. You've probably got 20 quid back on it. Is that the hassle of making 20 quid? Some people might think, well, 20 quid's 20 quid, kind of thing. But if you think about it, yeah, it is a lot of hassle. And a lot of people don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. So they try to flip it on Amazon. Amazon, if it's a good working machine. They try to flip it on Facebook, whatnot, in American, if you have a place, kind of thing. They might do their own car boot fair and, be honest up front and say, hey, mate, PlayStation 3, backward compatible, but it's not working, and you're not going to get your money back on what you spent on it, because people are going to say, well, it ain't working, what's the point of buying something, unless I can make money on the spares and repairs kind of thing, which sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Now, when you buy games or a console or something at car boot fair, yeah, so you think you're going to make money, but you're not making money. All you're getting is credit. You want that high return, you get the credit. And then sometimes you have to hassle at taking stuff back to C.E.X, like I had to do today. I just recently bought an Xbox X, Most of it was through credit, but I had to spend money out to get the credit. I might as well just like saved up and went out and bought it directly, paid cash for it. But, I think going back on that, because I was buying stuff at car boot fairs and sorting stuff out here, you're thinking like, well, that mobile phone, I'm not using, I'm going to get £60 back on it. But you don't realise how much money you had to spend over the last 2 years on a contract on that mobile phone. You've probably spent about £500 on that phone, and you're only getting £60 back on it. Because I traded in my Oppo P30 Lite, which was a 4 gig, 128 gig internal, and that phone would have still been worth a couple of £100. And I was told I was going to get 98 quid for it, but I didn't. I got £66 on it. I was like, sitting here coming home with my Xbox, I think, hang on a minute, I should have got more on that phone. And I wasn't going to go back up there, that day and complain about it. But I did complain about it. I said, I thought I was going to get 90 quid, because I went up there the following week to trade in a few more bits and pieces to get credit on some more games. And I said to the guy, I said, oh, your other guy told me I was going to get 98 quid for this. Why didn't I get 98 quid? Oh, because it's probably like a Class B or something. I said, no, that phone was in immaculate condition. It still had the protector covers off on them until he pulled the front one off and put fingerprints everywhere. Now, I've had that phone for 2 years, and it's not even come out the, like the casing. Like the protector cover, was kind of like crappy, but it still protected the screen. And when he pulled off the protector cover off the screen and started getting it all, grimy with his fingerprints, and that's what probably put the cost down. So really, I'm not happy about that. Because we can't do a lot better there. You've done the trading, kind of thing. The phone could have probably been sold by now. Well, I looked, and there's an Oppo exactly the same as what mine was, in really good condition, and they're selling it for £200. 200. And I'm sure it's one, because I remember going in there when I was doing the trading. There wasn't an Oppo phone there. And I can't see that they sold my Oppo phone within a week. But it looked exactly like my one. And I was asking over 200 quid for it, and all I got was £62 credit back on it. Now, I took up, when I thought I was going to have enough credit, but an Xbox X in C.E.X is between £110 to £150. More, even more if you want a box one. But I didn't get a box one. I had £360 in credit, all right? And I put £75 kind of like off my credit card, towards it to get an Xbox X. And I'm kind of happy with what I got, because it has saved me money. Only if you go and buy a new one, it's probably still about £490, £500 or whatever. But the thing is, the controller that came with it, when I'm playing games, it kept having a bit of a swerve to it, So I took that up there today with some games and the Guitar Hero guitars, thinking I'm going to make some credit. But they didn't take the guitars. Well, they would have done, probably, but they only offered me £2 each for them. And I said, no. Not in your money, I'll take them back. I'd rather donate them and lose more money, or, put it with a little package deal or something. Now, I don't think they had dongles with them, because I think you have to use dongles with some of these guitars now. And when I bought one, they didn't have no dongles. But you can pick up dongles for like a tenner. You get these like little USB dongles on eBay for 10 quid, thing. But any of you have the dongle and you spend the £10 out, they'll only give you like about £8 on the bloody guitar and the dongle, so you're losing money that way. So I ain't gonna bother. I might put them up on eBay as and when I want to, as like spare parts. But the thing is, I'm not going to make no money out of it, because like, if I put them up for like 10 quid each, it's going to cost me 5-6 quid to actually post them out. So, it just ain't going to be worth my hassle. I ain't going to make no money out of it. So really, I'm losing money, not making money. Now, the controller that I got with the Xbox X, as I say, was like kind of like, it wasn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I asked them to check it, and I could see like them having a conversation at the back, and he said, just give them another one. So they gave me another one. It's not in bad condition, but I had to put like these little blue rubbers on, which I got from Amazon a couple of weeks ago. That control joystick is like kind of dirty and grimy, and I didn't want to like brute force like clean it, so I just put a couple of these on, and it looks okay. But there is like a little white speck on there, whatever that is, I don't know. I've not tested it out yet, so I'm hoping it's working, because otherwise it's going back up there again. And this was the only spare one, replacement one they had apparently. Because when I looked at it, I said, well, like, it's got that grime there. Am I going to clean that off? It's got that speck there. Am I going to clean that off without causing any damage to the controller? Apart from that, the controller was in pretty good condition, but, you had like this grime around there and this little white speck, whatever it is, I don't know. And you can see it is visible. Right there. That little white dot. So, I had to take it because I need a controller to play my games with. Although I'm not playing tonight, I don't think, because I've got too much of a fucking headache. But so you're not really making profit, cash-wise. You might be making a little bit out of like C.E.X credit, and like you can, like today, like I took stuff up again today from some of the games I got from yesterday, and a few other games that I had laying around, and I've got like £40 credit. Now that's what I actually spent at the car boot fair yesterday. £45 actually I spent at the car boot fair yesterday. £10 was on the guitars. Complete total waste, lost. Now I'm not saying like the guitars for consoles are a waste of time, because I actually did buy a guitar from a car boot fair for a £5, and it was a Gibson one, and I didn't know until I got home it was worth for a little bit of money, but only in credit. And I bought a lot of games as well, and a lot of them games weren't worth nothing. Looking up on them, like a penny, return when you spent out £1 on it, 10p return when you spent £1 on it, So, out of 20 games, I probably had about 5 or 6 games, which would have gave me either 40p or £1 or a couple of £1 in credit. But time you build all that credit up and kind of compare it with the games that ain't worth nothing, sometimes you're walking away with a loss. Sometimes you might be making a little bit of credit on it, but it's credit, it's not the cash. And people turn around and say, oh, I got 3 games from like C.E.X today. Buy, using my credit. A credit is like money in one way, but not hard cash. You've had to go out and purchase stuff to get that credit. So how can it be free when you've gone out and purchased stuff to get that extra little bit of credit to buy your stuff which you think is free? Now, you could go out and buy 100 games, and it might £1 each. Let's say £1 each, and 30 of them games, you got a bit of a comeback on it. You might make your £100 back, but you got to think like, oh, hang on a minute, I've spent £100. There's £100 of games there, but I've got these other games which I can class as free. Okay, you can class them as free, but you can't class the games that you're getting from C.E.X as free, or anything you're getting from C.E.X as free. You don't have to go to a car boot fair and buy stuff. Anything that you got in your home, right? Electrical, electronic wise, game wise, which you've bought in your past, you're losing money. Unless it's completely boxed, rare, then you're going to make your money back. Even more, I suppose. But you think like it's just with eBay. You've got all this stuff laying around, and thinking, oh, I need to make some money. I'm going to put this up and I'm going to make money. You're not making money because you've lost money, because the things you've had in your home, you've paid hard cash for. You could have a vacuum cleaner which costs £200, and you stop using it because you upgraded. So you decide to put it back on. You decide to put this £200 vacuum cleaner on eBay, but you're not going to get £200 for it. You might get like 30-40 quid for it, and you're thinking that's free money. It's not free money because you've already spent out £200 buying it in the first place. All you're getting is a fraction back of what you spent out originally. So how can people say that I'm making money? Not me, but how can people say you're making money by going to car boot fairs and buying games and consoles and stuff like that when you're not? Unless you're like a big reseller and you spend out like 200 quid on like 3 consoles and a load of games, and you check the consoles out and they actually work, then there's a possibility you can like do like a little job lot, like a console, several games, a joypad, the cables, the power supply, and all that kind of stuff, and sell them for about 40-50 quid. And if you've got 3 consoles that you've picked up in the games, and they're all working, and you can sell each package deal for 50 quid, then really all you make is 50 quid, ain't you? Because if you're paying out £100 for everything, all you're making is 50 quid. It depends on the games as well, I suppose. You might have a top game there, like there's a game that I've been keeping an eye out, which is Silent Hill, and that can go for good money, but I don't know what console that's on, because there is a Silent Hill The Return on Xbox 360 up there, and that's been sitting up there weeks, and like 15 quid. So unless you've got like a game that you've picked up for a couple of quid and you got a big return back on it in credit, then yeah, that's okay, because then like you can buy other stuff to bring back and say, like, well, I paid a quid for that, and I've got £15 credit on it, and I bought like 3 games back, which would have cost me 15 quid anyway, to buy it, like hard-earned cash kind of thing. But because I made a profit on the credit, I was able to get 3 games which I don't have, so I didn't have to spend nothing. But again, you've got to realise you're paying out for the cost of getting up to C.E.X, whether it being bus fares, or fuel, for your car. You're still spending out, not really making a lot of money. Unless, like, you've got a C.E.X around the corner from you and you live near the town centre and you ain't got to spend no money on a bus or a car, then, yeah, you spent out 2 quid on a game and it's like worth 15 quid in credit. If it's like only 8 quid in cash and all you got to do is walk round there and you want the £8 in cash, you've still not made £8, you've made like £6 in cash. Yeah, okay, that's still, like profit, I suppose. But it's not a lot of profit, is it really? Because like the thing is, you've got to consider about taking out the cost of getting to the car boot fair to pick up that game. Unless, like, someone gave it to you, like a friend, and he knows that you're collecting stuff. And he goes around and says, well, like, I've got like 20 games here, If you want them, just come round and get them. And if you live closely and you can walk around there and you ain't got no outlay costs, and it gives you like 20 games, and like half of those are worth, a little bit extra in credit, then yeah, okay, you make money or you make credit on them. But what's kind of like annoying is people saying like on their YouTube channel, free games from C.E.X. It's not free games. You've had to spend out a part of getting those games. You've had to pay the cost of getting to the car boot fair. You've had to pay the cost of buying the games. You get home and people just don't realise they got to deduct on the outlay cost of getting there and getting the game, to come home and calculating it and finding out how much the game's worth in cash or credit. Now, it ain't just that as well. There's other costs involved. The cost towards your computer, internet, electricity. There's all that hidden cost as well, which you don't realise. Because, electricity bills ain't cheap now. Mine's doubled. I don't have gas. I won't use gas because of my asthma. So, but as soon as I get home, computer's turned on. The computer, you've paid money out to buy, to use, to research, right? So you've got to take a little fraction out of that. Electricity costs, you've got to take a fraction of that out. But all builds up, don't it? Really, all builds up to the costs. As I say, unless someone who comes around and gives you like 20, 30 games because they don't want them anymore, and there's like 15 games which are worth money in there, then you've made a profit, either through cash or through credit, through the ones that C.E.X will take. And the other games is a bonus because, it's all a bonus to you anyway, because you've have not had to pay anything towards them. Those given to you. The only way you're going to be making money, I suppose, is you go dumpster diving, like a lot of people have been doing in the UK or in different countries. They go dumpster diving, they salvage things out the bin, and they put on eBay or Facebook or something like that what they want to get rid of, what they found and what they're going to be selling. But still, there's an outlay of that, so it's not really free, because you've had to travel around in a car or a van to do the dumpster diving, so that means cost, whether it being fuel, electricity, your car might be electric, the wear and tear on your car, your MOT, your VAT, and all that kind of crap, which comes along with a car, so you think that you got something free when it isn't really free. It's free because you found it, and you put it on eBay or somewhere, and you're going to make money out of it, but you've got to consider about the cost of like shipping it out. You got to pay for the boxes. You got to pay for the like postal. So if you find like let's say you find a microwave and it's in working condition, very good condition, and you put it on eBay or Facebook for £40, you've not really made £40, because you've got to consider the cost of the travel, traveling around, your fuel costs, listing it on like eBay, having an eBay listing costs itself. So the £40 item, you might get 20 quid out of it after covering all costs and everything. Yeah, so you made like 20 quid. So that is free. That's the free money. But when you're buying stuff, to take C.E.X, you're not really making a lot of money, so it ain't really free, is it? Because you're spending out. There's an outlay. Say, I spent like 40 odd quid yesterday, thinking I'm going to make, that extra. But I didn't make no extra. I made a loss on it. No, because I got £40 credit back. I came out more even. No, if there's more games there, which were worth a little bit more, then I could turn around and say, yeah, I've made a little bit of money. But a lot of people don't take the money, they take the credit. And credit ain't really money, is it? Now, some of the games that I got yesterday is sitting in the bag because they're not worth nothing. That's the only thing I've made out of it, is a few bonus games, which have been paid for, but by taking some of the other games up and making the money back on credit, and getting the credit for getting other stuff later. You even got to think about the stuff that you bought in the past. Like, I bought a PlayStation 3, it don't work. Guy wanted 35 quid for it. Got it home, red light death. It wouldn't work on the HDMI, but I did get it working through the PS2 cable, which it has on the back. Got the connector, you can plug in the PlayStation 2 compatible lead in it. And I did actually get it working for a few moments, but then it shut down again. It kept shutting down all the time because it's overheating. So I did actually buy some flux, CPU flux. Well, it's not flux, it's the CPU, what's it called? Thermal paste. They weren't expected to be here till tomorrow, but they actually turned up today, funny enough, while I was out. Now, I wasn't going to buy, the high expensive stuff, like 10 quid for one tube. I just bought some of the cheaper stuff, and hopefully that'll work. So I'm going to give it a go and try to repair it myself. There's no way I'm going to be able to repair the HDMI. I've got API, I can give it the HDMI connector a little bit for clean up because it might just be dirty or something like that. So hopefully that might work. If it don't, I'll just use the PS2 cable. But the only other thing is that the CD-ROM don't work. Now, I've never taken anything apart to try and fix it. I could just, keep it as it is and sell it as parts and hopefully get my money back. But, there's a lot on eBay. PlayStation 3, background compatible, not working. £20. £15 plus postage. All that kind of crap, I'm not going to be doing all that because it's just too much hard work to list something and have it sitting there for months, maybe even a year or two, before it actually gets sold. And that's another thing I'm going to mention in a minute. But I bought some thermal paste, and I'm just going to take it apart and see if I can fix it myself. The HDMI, I'm not too worried about it. As long as it works through the RCA port, and I can connect the RCA to a HDMI box, converter box, then I can plug in an HDMI cable into the TV. That's how I actually found a way of getting kind of working. But as I say, it kept shutting down, and I think that could be due to the processors of overheating. And I did watch a video where a guy took it apart. He had the same issue, apart from his CD drive is working. My one doesn't. I think his HDMI port was working. Mine doesn't, but as I say, I can use the RCA cable at the back and plug it into an HDMI box and have it running that way for now. Or I could spend out a lot more money and get other people to fix it. Like I say, I contacted the coder. He never replied to me, so I'm not going to bother with him anymore. If he can't be bothered to answer one fucking email, then bollocks to him. You might get hundreds of emails, I don't know, but it's taken over a week and I've got no reply from him, so sod it. I could take it to a computer shop and see if they can fix it, but it could cost me like £100, up to £100 to get it fixed. Now, is it worth it? Well, C.E.X did have one in my local store, and I was asking, I think, 150 quid for it. I went to check it out today when I went up there. It's gone. Even the basic PlayStation 3 is gone. But I did notice there was 2 PlayStations on the floor at the back of the counter, so they could be the ones. I don't know. Maybe they pulled them out, to do some tests on some games. I don't know, but they weren't there when I was looking at them. So yeah, like £30 wasted at the present moment. Even if I do take it apart and change the thermal paste over and it starts working a lot better and it doesn't keep shutting down, then it's not really a £30 kind of like down the tube, down the toilet. If it starts working, then okay, but then I still got to spend money out to get a new disk drive for it. Unless I can repair the disk drive, because I don't know what's wrong with the disk drive. Keep pushing the button, nothing happens. I tried putting a disk in, wouldn't take a disk. It wouldn't even spitting out a disk. So what's wrong with the disk drive on it? I don't know. So at the moment, it's kind of like a doorstop. And that's £30 wasted. Now, you might turn around and say, well, go to car boot fair, buy some more. And then, sell them to make a little bit of profit. And that will get your money back. Possible, but not 100% possible, because you could still go out and buy some consoles and they won't work. Like I picked up a Wii console yesterday for £5, but it had no controllers. It had like a couple of games. 2 of the games was like missing. One game was completely different to what the box said, but one was actually there. But checking on that was only like £1, if that, I think it was, as trading. Now, I didn't plug it into the TV, but I plugged it in, and you had the blue light come up showing that it worked. I pushed the reject button, and the game popped out, and it wasn't it wasn't like a really good game, which is one of the games that was missing from the case. So I actually now had 2 games, but no controllers. Well, I did have some controllers, but I took them up to C.E.X and I got £8 each for them. And then you got like a kind of a different kind of controller, which you only get £3. So that's where my C.E.X credit came from, with some games. One game I got £9 for. So here, I'll quickly tell you what I got, or took 2 Guitar Hero things up, and they only offered me £2 each for them, and I practically told them to go screw themselves. I said no, I'll take it back, take him back home. Can't lose that because that's a receipt for the Xbox X. That's the credits. So I've got like about, I did spend £7 at the credit I've got. So I've still got £32.70 in credit at the stuff I took up there today. But it would have been like £40, but I did buy some, I kind of like trading some in credit to get some games which are in the middle. So, I took up the Nintendo Labrador and Friends DS game. £4 I got on that one. Left 4 Dead, Xbox 360 game, £5 on that one. Kirby's Epic Yarn. Now that's worth keeping an eye out because that gives a £9 trading, and that's a Wii game. So that's Kirby's Epic Yarn. I've got Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Wii software, £1.20. Toy Story Mania, no got. That's bullshit. There was glasses in there. Gave me 80p for that, and there was glasses in there. That should have been £1.60. So he ripped me off there by 80p. And then you got Nintendo Land, which is a Wii U. I got £1.60 on that. So the Nintendo Wii official remote control white, 2 of those got £8 each. And then the Nintendo Wii official classic controller, they put no serial, because I don't know if they're serials or not, but £3 on that, so £286, £19 on that one. So yeah, £19 credit on that. But then they took out the games I purchased, which was Mafia 2 on Xbox, Turok. Well, Mafia 2 was £3, Turok was £2, and Tomb Raider Underworld Collector's Edition was £1.50. So that's £6.50. £6.50. I've got £19 credit. So I've got £12.50 return credit on that one after purchasing the games. And then at the games that I did trade in, 2 of them they didn't take, but I got £21.60 on credit on that. So I still got like £30 credit, but that's not a profit. It's just the money I've spent out at Car Boot Fair. I've not even taken the cost of getting up there, which cost me £3 there and back. So really, plus the cost of the games, so you're not making a profit. You're not making really anything out of the games and the consoles you're buying. Say, because like, you know, a lot of the consoles you're buying, you think they're going to work, don't work. You know, you might be lucky to get a few that, you know, honest sellers. And so yeah, they definitely work. You bring it home and they do work. You know, some of the Xbox consoles I've got, you know, I bought home thinking they ain't going to work, but they've worked. You know, especially like the kind of like, I don't know, the new ones, the smaller ones, which has 250 gig or 320 gig hard drives in. They work, apart from one of them, the green LED light don't work on it. That's nothing really, you know. The one I'm using when I use it is the one that has a working green LED light working. I think I'll change the hard drive over to the 320 and put a 250 in the other one, which has a 40 non-working green light, but the console does work. Plus I've got like a couple of blacks and white Xbox 360s, and C.E.X won't take them because the warranty's been removed from them. So they're just sitting there as door stoppers, really, unless I can like bundle them up and you know, try to get some of my money back, because like, you know, some of those consoles cost 10-15 quid each, because you think you know they're going to be working, and then if they work, it's because like someone's taken them apart and I've repaired them themselves, or they've taken to a repair place where, you know, someone's repaired it for them. But when you try to trade them in with C.E.X, you don't get your money back. You don't even get credit because the warranty's been tampered with. So that's what the video is about today. I just can't understand where people say that they're making money on, taking stuff to C.E.X when they're not. Because if you trade it in for cash, you'd be lucky to get the money back that you spent out. No, you buy 50 games at a car boot fair. You got to go through, and research what game is going to give you that return. And you might be lucky, 1 in 100 times, 1 in 50 times, to get a game where you're going to get your money back on one game, depending on, what the outlay was on what you bought that particular day. You could have spent 50 quid out on 50 games, and you come home and find out only 20 of those games is worth taking to C.E.X, and you might get 30 quid out of it. And one game might be like a £10, kind of like credit return, and all the others like £1 or £1.20 or £1.40. So you take up, like 20 games out of 50 you bought, and you're making your money back on credit, yeah, but credit's credit. It's not like hard cash in it. They might offer you not even double of what you spent out in return. If you spend out 50 quid on games and you take up X amount to C.E.X and they offer you like 30 quid for it, you're still 20 quid short, aren't you? And they say offer you the credit and you've made your money back on credit. And the games that you've not taken up is the bonus. That's the free ones. So yeah, you can get free games, but what's the point in keeping games that you don't really want? It's just like, is it what we call a shelf filler? What are you going to do with the games that you can't, trade in? Are you going to keep them? Are you going to try to sell them on eBay? No, you're not going to make no money unless you try to, do a bundle deal maybe. And then, that's the hassle of like listing them on eBay and trying to get enough money to actually cover the cost and, selling the game. You're going to have to work hard for that. Sometimes you might get a handheld console like a Nintendo DS or DS Lite or something like that for like a tenner. And you can take up to like C.E.X and get trading for 33 quid. And you think, I've made money. No, that ain't money, that's the credit. I might offer you like 20 quid, cash. Well, I only paid for 10 quid for it, 22, that's £12 extra cash. But it's not £12 cash because you don't realise you've got to take the cost of going to the car boot fair. You've got to take the cost of going up to C.E.X, It's cost you money to go up there. So you've got to take that cost out at the £12. And the time you've done that, it's probably like £5 profit, if that kind of thing. Is £5 profit worth it? Well, if you're making £5 profit every single day, then yeah, I suppose it might be, but I'm considering not even going to car boot fairs anymore, to be honest with you. I can probably go to charity shops, but none of the charity shops have any fucking games in there nowadays. Like I went to the Mitcham one yesterday on my own. All fucking like FIFA games and NBL games, like basketball games. Nothing else. He said he had nothing else in the back. The 3 charity shops up at there's 4 charity shops I think up at Streatham. Same thing. FIFA, NBA, or the boring Connect games, or some PC games that C.E.X won't take in. Unless you're still doing PC gaming, there might be 1 or 2 games on there that you might want, or you might want them for your collection. And fair enough, but C.E.X won't take many PC games. I've taken PC games up there and they said, oh, we can't take them because the serial code might have been used. We'll only take them for that brand new box and sealed, kind of thing. Anyway, that's my little kind of like niggle about where people keep saying, oh, I'm getting free games by going to car boot fairs, Well, you're not getting games free because you're paying out an X amount of money to get the games or consoles or whatever. You bring them home. There's a good chance that they might work, but there's a big chance that they don't work. So you've lost money and they're sitting there doing nothing. Unless you know how to repair things and you repair it and then double your money, then yeah, that's where you make a profit. But a lot of us don't know how to repair, like consoles and whatnot. Sometimes we have to send them off to people to get them repaired. And then that can cost more money. So, to be honest with you, I ain't even worth buying consoles. I don't think at car boot fairs. I can save up your money, go buy one from, C.E.X or Cash Converters or GameStop or some other place and, buy one which has got guarantee and warranty on. Like Cash Converters, they only do like a 3-month warranty. But if it goes wrong after that, then you can take it back and they will either try to repair it or give you a replacement one. Because I bought the PlayStation 4 from them. It cost me $150 in total because I had to get another controller from them. Because the one they gave me was a generic one and it wouldn't work for me to actually set up the console. So that's a bit of a downer, but it's a PlayStation 4 Pro, 1 terabyte, 150. They go for 150 to 100 quid. Depends on what model you want. If it's got like some fancy like artwork on it, Star Wars, or whatever, then you're paying a bit more money for it. As with any console, really, I think it's worth, like if you want a console, just fucking save up and go and buy one where you've got warranty and guarantee. If it goes wrong, when you're buying stuff on car boot fairs, most of the time they don't bloody well work unless you're buying them for parts, like spares and repairs, and you'll have to repair it yourself and then sell them out, once they've been repaired, or someone who can repair it cheap. Or you're just buying them for spares and repairs, because sometimes you might get a rare Xbox, which you pay 10 quid on, and you might get 30, 40 quid back in repairs, spare repairs as a sale, selling, Xbox 360 or Xbox One or Xbox X, PlayStation, whatever, it might not work, but you might be able to make money back on spares and repairs after your outgoing costs. So you spend £10 on it and you're going to get like 30 quid, 40 quid on it after you've spent out money on your selling fees, your final fees, your postal fees, and actually kind of crap, yeah. And you made like an extra 20 quid, then fair enough, kind of thing. But a lot of people don't do that. They just have all these consoles like I've got. I've got about 6 Xbox 360s. I've probably got about 4 or 5 Wii consoles. I've got the broken PlayStation 3, which I got last week, which I'm going to try and repair myself. I've got PlayStation 2 Slim. I've got a PlayStation 3 that does work, but it's a basic, fat one. God knows what else I've got. I did have some Nintendo DS Lites, but I traded them in, so I wasn't really using them. Got 33 quid each on those, but I spent more than that on them when I originally got them. Just couldn't find the boxes. If I had the boxes, then I would have got a bit more money back on them, but don't know where the boxes were. I did take up a Game Boy the other week. I think I got 40 quid on that, 40, 50 quid, something like that, because it was boxed. And I originally couldn't find a back cover to it for the battery compartment, but I was able to get one off eBay for a couple of quid. So really, I didn't get the full price that I wanted to get on it, as a trading, because I had to spend money to get the bloody back battery compartment thing. That was like £2.50, £3, plus like, you know, going up there, you know, bus fees. Plus I like to buy batteries to test the damn thing out. Actually, they didn't take it. No, they didn't take it. I was hoping to get £50 on it, but I didn't take it. Because it's got like a little liquid, like the black liquid damage at the bottom of the screen. It's sitting over there, actually, funny enough. I was hoping to get £50 on it, but no. So I spent that money trying to get it, you know, sorted and working, and no, I didn't sell it. I thought I'd sold it, but I haven't, because it was over here somewhere. Yeah, I'm not going to get it because it's behind there, behind the discs. So it's definitely there. But I was only get like, you know, £50 trading, but I didn't get £50 trading because there's like a little bit of damage at the bottom of the screen, saying that could hurt the return of the warranty if they were to sell it. So I bought it, I had to bring it home. But it works. You know, I'll play a game with it, no problem. But I wouldn't take it because it had like a little wavy, kind of like black LTC fluid thing at the bottom. They said take it to Game Express or whatever it's called. They buy it, but I didn't because they were arseholes down there anyway. And they would have probably turned it down because the little black line kind of thing at the bottom of the screen. Anyway, yeah, that's all I've got to say. Like, you know, you're not making money. So stop saying that you're making money, because you're not making money. You're losing money, or you're making enough to like tie, you know, kind of like level peg on what you spent out. The only way you're making money is you buy like 100 games for £50, and then you take like X amount up because they've got like a bit of trading value. You get your £50-60 back in trading price, which isn't cash, it's trade in credit, which you had to spend in store anyway. And whatever games you got left out of there, then they're your free games. They're your free games. Not where you take like a bunch of games up, get your credit, and then you say, oh, I'll come back with like 6 new games, you know, free. Well, they're not free because you've had to trade in games to get the credit to get them games. And the only way you've done that is by buying the games to take up to get the credit, to get the games from your credit. But anyway, I'm off. I'm going to test out this controller quickly. I might do a stream, I don't know. I'll see how I feel later. I might do an hour stream later, gaming one. But I do need to quickly test out this controller, see if it works. Because they didn't test it after I gave me it as a replacement one. If it don't work, straight back up there tomorrow with a big complaint. So, right. Catch you later, guys.